Before the forest woke up, before the wind carried the day's noise, the little bird would perch on the highest branch of the oldest tree and look upward. The clouds drifted freely. The sun painted the air with gold. And far beyond what his wings could reach, the stars still whispered their presence from the fading night. While the other birds searched for food or argued over territory, he dreamt of something different. He didn't want to fly just far enough to survive. He wanted to fly high enough to matter. He wanted to touch the stars. No one understood him. The older birds shook their heads gently and spoke with tired wisdom. "Be realistic," they said. "Birds were not made for stars." The younger birds laughed louder and crueler. They mocked his ambition, flapping around him in careless circles. "Why exhaust yourself?" they said. "The trees are enough. The sky is dangerous." Every word weighed on him, but the dream refused to leave. It lived quietly in his chest, beating with his heart. So every day he tried. At sunrise, he pushed his wings harder than before. The wind resisted him. His feathers ached. Sometimes he rose higher than yesterday. Other times he failed so badly that he crashed back onto the lower branches, breathless and ashamed. He fell more times than he could count. Each fall stung not just his body, but his spirit. On the hardest days, he watched the sky with tired eyes and wondered if the others were right. Maybe some dreams were too big. Maybe wanting more was foolish. Maybe safety was better than struggle. At night, alone beneath the dark canopy of trees, he folded his wings tightly and asked himself questions that had no easy answers. Why chase what no bird had ever reached? Why suffer for something that promised nothing in return? Then one evening, when his wings felt heavier than ever, the world grew quiet. The sun disappeared, the forest hushed, and slowly the stars appeared, bright, calm, unshaken by doubt or effort. They didn't rush, they didn't strain, they simply existed, steady and patient in the vast sky. And in that silence, the bird understood something profound. The stars were not mocking him, they were not challenging him, they were not asking him to reach them at all. They were simply there, to inspire, to guide, to remind him how high could be. In that moment, his dream changed. It was no longer about touching the stars. It was about becoming the bird who dared to fly toward them. The next morning, he flew again, but this time with peace in his heart. He wasn't racing the sky. He wasn't trying to prove anyone wrong. He was honoring his effort. Every flight, every fall, every aching wing was shaping him into something stronger. Days passed, then weeks. Slowly, so slowly it was almost invisible. His wings grew powerful. He learned the language of the wind. He learned when to fight it and when to surrender to it. The sky that once frightened him now felt familiar. The other birds began to notice, not because he reached the stars, but because he flew higher than they ever dared to try. While they stayed safe among familiar branches, he explored the open air. Where they saw danger, he saw possibility. Where they saw limits, he saw space. One morning, as dawn spilled color across the sky, the bird rose higher than ever before. The stars were gone, hidden by daylight. But something else remained. From that height, the forest looked small. The branches that once felt like boundaries now looked like beginnings. And in that moment, the bird felt something far greater than success. He felt free. And that is the lesson hidden in his flight. In life, we are often told to stay grounded, to aim lower, to be realistic. People will warn you. They will doubt you. Some will laugh. Others will quietly hope you fail so they feel better about not trying. But big dreams are not meant to be reached easily. They are meant to stretch you, to pull you beyond the version of yourself that would have stayed comfortable. You may never touch the stars you dream of, but in reaching for them, you will rise higher than you ever imagined. You will grow stronger than your fears, braver than your doubts, wiser than your past. And even if the stars remain distant, the sky you explore along the way will change you forever. So if you have a dream that feels too big, too distant, too impossible, don't silence it. Let it lift you. Let it challenge you. Let it demand more from you than comfort ever could. Because the greatest tragedy is not failing to reach the stars. The greatest tragedy is never spreading your wings. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Shay and drop your lesson learned. Keep flying, keep reaching, and never let anyone convince you that aiming high is a mistake.